This is Nancy Joe Morris coming to you as I do every year to deliver my personal commentary on this, the International Transgender Day of Remembrance 2018. Reflecting a grim trend that carried over from the past couple of years, 2018 turned out to be the deadliest one on record when it comes to the unspeakable murdering of transgender individuals worldwide. And again, the grievous statistics, especially in the United States, were disproportionately populated specifically by trans women of color. The Transgender Day of Remembrance 2018 International Update has revealed a total of 369 cases of reported killings of trans and gender diverse people since October of 2017. That's an increase of 13% above last year's figure of 325 in countries where such data is tabulated, with the majority happening in Brazil, which had 167, Mexico with 71, the United States with 28, and Colombia with 21. In Asia, the most reported cases were in India with 5, and Pakistan had 6 murders. In Europe, the worst toll was found in Turkey with 5 and Italy with 4. The rest of the murders happened within the remaining nations around the world, where many were actually found beheaded, stoned to death, or mercilessly gunned down. In some cases, it wasn't even safe to stay home, as several trans women were found murdered in the very places where they lived. In addition to these horrendous realities, consider those that have either been driven into insurmountable depression and therefore have taken their own lives since last November, or those who have prematurely died due to inadequate food, clothing, shelter, or health care. It is my humble opinion that these too have been callously murdered, albeit in a relatively slow manner, by certain individuals, organizations, and societal attitudes that are virulently and most wickedly anti-trans. A lot of these victims lost hope along their journey, not because there was anything inherently wrong with them in any way, but because they were targeted, stigmatized, and systematically ostracized upon outing themselves by misguided family members, hostile elements of the religious right, by trans exclusionary radical feminists, by ignorant and bigoted politicians, and even by some anti-trans members of the LGBT community itself. There is also the inexcusable phenomenon of lateral oppression at the hands of other members of the trans community itself that are to blame. The actual number of those who have fallen most likely will never be known, due to the misgendering by the local authorities and in the media, along with the heartless denial of these persons' true identities by non-accepting family members and former so-called friends. In spite of these facts, today is a day upon which we will lift up and honor those whose lives were so tragically taken away from them. Many TDOR events have made a distinct effort to say their names, to boldly proclaim those identities which the hateful oppressors have tried to obliterate and destroy forever. No matter how it may appear, today is not to be seen as a moment of abject defeat. It is a day of respect to our fallen. It is a day of resolution for those still living. And in a larger sense, it is a call to action to every one of us who works towards the day when true equality of civil and basic human rights becomes the ultimate rule of law and not just a dreamt for political exception. And now, hear my conclusion. Today's news reports and political monitors everywhere reveal that we in America do indeed face a blatantly hostile president and administration who have taken draconian steps backwards against LGB and especially T-specific policies and civil rights. Thankfully, most of these political attacks will, over time, be ruled out as clearly unconstitutional. However, we, plus our sincere allies, must remain ever vigilant during these treacherous times. We've got to show our oppressors that we as individuals and as a community will not be erased. With positively progressive plans in place, we shall never falter or fail in our endeavor to ensure that trans persons everywhere can lead full and wholesome lives, free from the fear of becoming just another statistic next year. This is Nancy Joe wrapping up my commentary on the Transgender Day of Remembrance 2018. Thank you very much.